The PetrolPlaza Roadshow continued its journey last month, this time visiting Sweden's capital city Stockholm, where it participated at the SPT two-day conference and exhibition. Leading technical solution providers from all over Scandinavia turned out and forced to support this biennial event, and Nick Needs, chief editor of EPEC News, was there to ask a few of its participants about the show, Sweden and the upcoming Unity Expo. He kicks off straight to the point with one of Sweden's better-known faces, Jan Ageheim from polyethylene pipe manufacturer PetroTeknik AB.
Polyethylene is much changing. Is there new technology? Are you still basically marketing the same product in principle that you were 30 years ago?
The range of products in the system is 10 times more or something like that. And also it's so good this system, so we have got the other 4 companies to copy us. So
well, we haven't got time for the conductive non-conductive argument today, which I'm sure many people have dealt with over.
What is that?
Yeah, thank you, Jan Ageheim, who I might just tell you has now got a restaurant in New York. So if you want to go to New York and you want a nice steak, contact Jan Ageheim, and he's promising everybody who goes there will get a free meal. Is that right, Jana?
Chemois is the name.
Okay, moving over to Jan-Erik. Jan, great exhibition here today. I think it's a wonderful combination of aspirations, people turning up on the visitor side and giving up their valuable time to come to the exhibitors, doing their part. How would you sum up the last couple of days?
It has been very good 2 days here, and I'm very happy with it.
It's a lot of hard work though, isn't it? People don't really appreciate that.
Yeah, we start to planning in May last year, so it's quite much work to do, but now we are here.
So how's the Swedish industry doing at the moment? How's the Swedish marketplace doing? I mean, there's always issues on standards of installations. Are we working towards getting a better type of quality control here in Sweden?
Yeah, but the control and the quality have been very good for many years, but they are more complex. The installations, you have the new fuel, ET will become, and you need to check the underground storage tank and see if they can have the product there.
Yeah, I probably mean generally quality is always an issue, not just in Sweden. That the quality relating to safety and more effectiveness, we're talking about leakages in tanks, it's happening everywhere, and obviously we're working towards it generally as an interest to make that sort of much better. What are the initiatives at the moment in Sweden specifically?
Yeah, they are some of the regulation that they have changed, and they have found that there are some problem there and they need to change it again, and just now we wait for the regulation so they are in the right place.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, today's seminar program was very much about the technical side, wasn't it? And you had a good number of visitors in there watching those seminars, but very much about Sweden and the regulations that are in front of you.
Yeah, that's the regulation, and we have this day is more for the technical and knowledge about seeing how we can handle and what we can do and what we need to do. So day 2 is more like knowledge day for people.
So how many people do we have here over the last couple of days?
Approximately 300,000 have been here.
I mean, you moved this event out of the centre of Stockholm. You took a bit of a gamble, bringing it out a little bit on the outside, but it's easier to get to. It's closer to the airport. Has that been a success for you?
Yeah, that has been a very good success.
Okay, moving on very quickly. You've been very much involved in the preparations for Sweden or the Nordic Pavilion at the Unity Expo. And then we have a number of exhibitors here who will be part of that pavilion. What's the thinking behind having a pavilion at Unity Expo?
It's 2 things there. The first is to ensure that we have this association in Sweden, and we are interested to find another type of organization that we can have cooperation with. And the other thing is a couple of the company there see the market and they want to be there and test and see how can we do it in a small scale and not and see if there are interest for the product and so on.
So you're saying some of them, as we say in England, are dipping our toe into the water, just to test the international side. I know that was a problem, for example. Many people tried that at Automechanica. They felt it was a bit too long, the exhibition, and it was much more of an investment of their time. And after all, it was a research, it was basically for research, just to see if their products were of interest. So hopefully the 3 days at Unity Expo will make that much more effective.
Yeah, that's fine. It's exactly because many people want to test other marketer and they need to have a small test that it's not cost so much.
So we'll be seeing you obviously next up at Unity Expo in June in Stuttgart. But for your own event here, when is that likely to take place again? Will that be in 2 years' time?
Yeah, yes, 2 years, because we cannot have it every year because it's a little bit too hard and it's not enough with the news and so on.
Well, whenever you have it, you can guarantee we'll be there. And thank you very, very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Well, for many people, this chap next to me needs no introduction. Jari Sistonen from U-Cont in Finland. Jari, I think you've been to more exhibitions than most people. I think you've been in this business for many years. How long have you been in the retail petroleum business?
Actually, it's a funny story that I've been in retail business in 6 decades. This is a funny way to calculate it, but I was a child labor in 60s. And started to real work in 70s, then 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. So it comes 6 decades, but actually I've been working as a row about 30 years in this business.
And have you learned anything in that time?
No.
Well, we've certainly seen U-Cont have some really good success. You've been a company that people talk about. You've been part of ERPEC, I think every ERPEC since we've done them. And Unity Expo, you're coming as part of the Nordic Pavilion. Something that we've talked to Jan-Erik about, the chairman of SPT. What do you think Unity Expo and the pavilion sort of means when it comes to displaying itself at Unity Expo?
Well, I believe that we have a chance to make a real European, let's say, strong exhibition. We have had problems with Automechanica. You know that is only one part of the big business, and we need to concentrate on something. And I see something like that coming on now.
What would you say was the particular problem with Automechanica that you experienced that made it just a little bit harder? Because doing any exhibition it's a lot of commitment, isn't it?
Well, actually, it's cost, of course, and then possibilities of accommodation that you have to travel half an hour or whatsoever, and also for me as a country boy, too many people there. I would rather see only the important people. I don't want to see all of those people who are not interested in our business.
Of course, I mean, and without giving too many secrets away, I think that only 4% of the visitors to an Automechanica event were relevant, in fact, to 99% of the exhibitors, as we know them in the retail and commercial fuel handling sectors. So Unity Expo's on the up then. For you, you've said you've seen many shows, been to many exhibitions. Are you looking forward to it?
Yes, very much looking forward in it, and we are also coming up with new products and also done it already, and that is good place to have the feedback. Have we done things right, and are we going to right direction? A lot of communication like that is needed.
And just very quickly, just before we go, a little bit about the new product. First on PetrolPlaza.
Well, the new product, it was already promoted in last ERPEC, and it's an above-ground solution or family of solutions, so that instead of having underground structure of petrol station, that you can do everything above ground, and it's better pricing, better looking, and easier to build than the traditional system. So that's the direction we are heading to at the moment.
So everyone coming to Unity Expo, Jari and U-Cont will be there, and perhaps you might even like to see his new products. We're very pleased to see you today, Jari, and we look forward to seeing you in Stuttgart.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm here with Klaus Bunner, Managing Director of Wennstrom, Sweden. Wennstrom, obviously their main focus is service and maintenance installations in the Swedish or Scandinavian marketplace. Klaus, how's the event been for you today?
I think the event has been very fine so far, and we have a lot of interesting discussions with potential customers, and I think it's been a very good event.
I think it's every 2 years Jan-Erik puts this on. It's good for an industry to have something like this, bit of camaraderie. And the seminar subjects, did you manage to get through some of those?
Yeah, I've been listening to some of the seminars, and they've been very interesting, and I think also it's a very good event. Everybody who is working with this have been here, and a lot of our customers have been here, so yes.
So obviously Wennstrom in the news in the last few months regarding the Wayne operation. You're now looking after service and maintenance throughout Scandinavia for the Wayne Group. I mean, you've been in this market for years, so I mean, maybe it's more business, but it's certainly something that you're more than capable of doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have been doing service and maintenance of petrol stations for many years, and now we are one company doing it for all the Nordic countries. So yes.
And you are, in fact, another one of the companies that's going to be on the Nordic Pavilion at Unity Expo. Do you see that as a good opportunity to reach out to markets with your products that you actually manufacture yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we are there. I mean, we have other products which we are manufacturing ourselves, and those products will be displayed at that pavilion.
We will look forward very much to seeing you, and thank you for your support.
Thank you very much.
So CMS Europe, one of the companies that Jan-Erik talked about in our earlier interview, they will be part of the Nordic Pavilion at Unity Expo. Very exciting times, not only for us, but also obviously for them, being able to push their products out into the wider markets. I'm with the Managing Director, Niklas, and the Sales Manager, Rickard.
Yes.
Niklas, can you just very for the people that don't really know, just very quickly, I know you're into the fuel card business, specialising, I think, in unmanned sites, of which there are many in Sweden. Can you just explain a little bit more what it is you do?
Yeah, it's a business system basically where you handle all your petrol cards and all your customer, all your site details, account receivables, and all statistics and everything basically you need to get your operation up and running.
And how successful have you been to date?
It's been very successful, very popular, and a very modern system. So we're now hoping to roll it out in the rest of Europe.
So we're talking success just in Sweden or other parts of Scandinavia?
Just in Sweden so far.
Can I turn to you, Rickard? What is it your fuel card? I mean, this working you do with unmanned stations. What's the link?
It's the link is that we have telecommunication wire or GSM or anything, so we are always connected to the terminal. So the owner of the station, even that he's not there, he can, by monitoring in our software, check his sites all the time.
Remote management, basically.
Remote management. He see all transactions. So if anyone says, "I have not gotten a receipt," he can just email him in a receipt directly. So he don't need to go out on the site to help customer.
I think it's the buzzword, isn't it? Distance management. I mean, that's the key thing. And is there any connection? I know that involved in CMS Europe is Q-Star.
Yes.
The company in Sweden that only has unmanned sites. I think don't have 500 sites, don't they have altogether?
450 sites, and maybe 50, 60 of them are manned. The rest are unmanned sites.
Could I just steal a question? What is it about Sweden that is? Why is it that you liked unmanned sites so much? I know this is not part of the agenda, but what is it about Sweden and unmanned sites?
I think probably because it's a very large country and not so many people. So you need to have a lot of sites, but you can't have manned sites everywhere.
Moving on, Unity Expo, is that a big step for you? Why is it so important do you think the timing's just right for you? I mean, is that the point?
Yeah, the timing is absolutely right for us. We just produced a new version of our software, looking out to Europe now, and this trade fair is going to be the perfect step for us to meet new people and show our product for the rest of Europe.
So as a sales manager, Rickard, I'll just leave the last question with you. So when you're at Unity and an oil company, let's say YPF from Argentina, comes on your stand and says, we're interested in your system, would you have something to say to him?
Yeah, you're very welcome.
And you're very welcome indeed. We look forward to seeing you in Stuttgart. Thank you very much. Thank you.
From September 2014, all fuel retailers in Europe must stock and sell AdBlue. At the SPT conference on the second day, Thomas Wullkopf from Elaflex explained why.
Yes, today we had a presentation here in Stockholm for the SPT meeting, and the topic that we touched was the Euro 6 introduction and what is the impact to the retail industry. We have the situation that in September 2014, so this year, the AdBlue will be used by a lot of diesel vehicles in the European market. So what does it mean? Right now, a lot of car manufacturers are introducing Euro 6 diesel cars with the so-called SCR technology, selective catalytic reduction, which means you need AdBlue, urea, to bind the emissions, the NOx emissions, and to have later on purer exhaust that is leaving the vehicle. And that means that these cars will be growing in the population. By 2020, the German car industry will have about 20 million vehicles in Europe. If we look to the total number of vehicles being in Europe in 2020, we estimate about 40 million vehicles. That means we need to have an infrastructure that is available in the market for the refueling of passenger cars. During the preparation of the introduction of Euro 6, the question came up, why not using the existing infrastructure that is available for the commercial vehicles? The infrastructure is working that way that you have a nozzle with a magnet switch inside the spout. And once you have a magnet field around the nozzle, it's opening the valve and you can use the nozzle. It's a misfilling prevention that's required by the ISO standard 22241. Now, we had the situation that the automotive industry was not willing to use a magnet device. And actually, it was decided that a new filler neck is developed, which is having a thread and a cylindric area. This here can be used, the thread can be used, for example, for bottles or for canisters. The problem is that if you're using, for example, a canister or a bottle, you have flow rates down to 0.5 liters per minute, which means if you have a typical car with 50 liters per minute, that you roughly need half an hour filling AdBlue into your car. The problem is that this is not realistic for the people who are going to a petrol station, because who is using vehicles with Euro 6? These are important customers, for example, like fleet customers. These are strategic, important people that you want to bind to your petrol station. And that's the reason why we are in development right now for a nozzle that is capable to fulfill the interface of the ISO 22241 with the new extension 5, and it's basically very similar in the operation to the nozzles that are existing in the market, so that the consumer does not need to be trained to a new system. And that's what we try to realize with this new device. The working principle is very easy. With the cylindric area here, we open the valve. This is also misfilling prevention, that no one can deliver the AdBlue into the diesel filling tank. Because AdBlue contains mostly water, and water is incompressible, it will damage the motor instantly once you start it. So in the end, the question is how to progress in the market. From the experience today that no one is aware that Euro 6 has such a big impact to the infrastructure at the petrol station, we can only give the recommendation for further investments to consider Euro 6 implementation, and that millions of vehicles will be soon have the demand to use AdBlue. That means either it's a bottle for the transition phase or canister, but later on, once a lot of vehicles are out in the market, that a solution is available that is easy to handle and it's not so time consuming for the motorist.